Hey everyone, it's Audrey here. Thank you for listening to our Permission to Hustle podcast. Believe it or not, this is episode 81. So if you're new to our podcast, if you've never listened before, definitely want to encourage you to head on over and check out some of our other episodes. We've said it before, we'll say it again in case you're new. This podcast is brought to you by myself, Audrey McClelland, and also my business partner and best friend, Vera Sweeney. Sometimes you get us both, sometimes you get us individually. We actually don't live near each other. Fun fact. She's in Long Island, I'm in Rhode Island. And you know what? We do what we can when we're together. And then because our lives and our schedules are so crazy, you kind of get one of us sometimes, and that's just the way it is. So today it's all about me. I get to be doing the podcast today. And the question that I am posing to you today during this podcast is, how do you find help on the days that you need it? I mean, let's face it, there are days when we kind of feel like either the chips are down, the to-do list is super long, we're overwhelmed, we're stressed, we have 100 million things in our head that we feel like we have to do. You feel like a hamster on a wheel. That's the only way that I can actually describe it to somebody, that, you just feel like you're constantly running, but you're just going round and round in circles. So how do you find help on those days that you need it? I want to share with you today some secrets to keeping yourself going on the tough days. And I'm going to state this first of all, and I think that this is something that's understated, but I think it's something that you really need to know in your heart of hearts that is so true, that it doesn't matter. And I'm saying this because I don't necessarily know for sure if Oprah Winfrey actually has, really tough, stressful, overwhelming days. But I would be hard pressed to think that even the most successful women out there, and I'm talking Oprah Winfrey, I'm talking some of your favorite leaders, some of your favorite writers, some of your favorite business women, some of the people, the women that inspire you and motivate you the most in this world. I'd be hard pressed to find that they haven't felt tough days. I feel like the one common thread that we all have, regardless of what it is that you do, is that we all have tough days. We've said it before, we'll say it again. Everyone's hustle is different. It doesn't matter if you all define yourself as the same profession. I am an influencer, I'm a mom blogger, and there are millions of influencers and mom bloggers, but my daily routine is different than anybody else's because it's my life. Your life is different than anybody else's. So your version of crazy and busy and stressfulness is always going to be different than anybody else's. So today I really want to talk about ways that you can hone in on those tough days and look at yourself and go, okay, I'm going to use these tools. I'm going to use this advice to get through this tough day. Because the good thing is, and I hope this is true for you, but the good thing is that there are usually more easy days than there are tough days. And that's not to be said that at least once a week you have a tough day. I'm going to stand here and tell you that yes, there are tough days for me each week. But the good days way overshadow the tough days and the quote unquote bad days. But these are some of the secrets that I use, that Vera uses, that a lot of women that we know have talked to absolutely use. So the first thing is, on the tough days, what is one of the first secrets, quote unquote secrets out there? Listen, guys, ask for help. I know it sounds so easy to say, believe me. And I know it's easier said than done, believe me. But ask. I know it sounds simple, but you got to ask. People aren't mind readers. And the older I've gotten, I'm 41, but the older I've gotten, the more I've realized that, wow, people aren't mind readers. People don't know what I'm thinking. People don't know if I'm having a tough day. People don't know if I'm feeling overwhelmed or stressed. We all put out on social media what we want the world to see. Not many people will put consistently on social media their horrible, bad, crazy, overwhelming days. We put the light on what we want to shine. And a lot of the times we aren't that real and raw with the tough days. And if we are, it's maybe a little sneak peek. It's not completely peeling the onion. It's maybe one layer. But if you go out there and ask, I'm telling you right now, you're going to see that people help. And it might not be maybe the amount of help that you maybe needed in that specific day. But I'll tell you what, you're going to see that people say to you, well, what can I do to help? What can I do that's going to take something off your plate? I mean, for me, sometimes it's just as easy as like my mother or my sister saying, hey, listen, let me take the kids for 2 or 3 hours. Let me take them to lunch. Let me take them to the movies. Let me take them to the pool. Let me help you out with carpooling today. That within itself is helpful. So they might not be actually doing the work that's on my to-do list, but having that simple task of taking one thing off my plate is a huge thing that I just feel relief on. So don't be afraid to ask. Don't feel you're going to be judged that you need help. Don't feel that people are going to look at you and go, oh, yeah, see, I knew she couldn't do it. I know she likes to pretend that she can balance 100 plates on her hand. You know what? Forget about it. Nobody can do that. And I hope people really know that. Nobody can do that. We all do what we have to do to get by. And everybody's motivation and inspiration is different. But I'm telling you right now, ask for help. And maybe you do need to ask for, hey, listen, I need someone to help me write 30 blog posts over the next 60 days. Put it out there. You might have to pay for it, but you never will know if you don't put it out there. And that leads me to the next secret, quote unquote. I'm calling them secrets. These are not secrets. These are just things that we all should be able, advice and tips that we all really need to keep in our back pocket, keep in that work arsenal. Hire out. This is tough for a lot of people. And I'm going to tell you why it's tough for me. I'm going to tell you right now why this has been, and Vera and I are different on this. We really are. But it's tough for me sometimes to hire out a lot of tasks because, number one, I am the sole provider of my family. My husband is an entrepreneur. I am the breadwinner. I am the one that makes the most amount of money. So therefore, I feel that there's a lot of pressure on my shoulders. I definitely feel that, the piece for me is this. When I'm working and I'm making money off a job, I need that money. So I look at something like, oh my God, do I actually have to pay $100 to have this person do this? Or, oh my God, do I have to pay $50 for this person to do this? I can do that. I'm saving the money. It's mine. I don't want to have to pay to do things that I can do. And that's where there's always that level of going back and forth on a seesaw for me. But I will say this. If you are overwhelmed and you are stressed and you are crazy and you are feeling like a hamster on a wheel, look at the tasks that you can hire out for. Is it graphic design? Is it content creation? Is it babysitting? Is it someone to help maybe, I don't even know, deliver your meals, whatever it might be? I don't know what it is. We all have different things. For me specifically, I know that hiring out this summer, I have a college girl that helps do some driving with the kids, and I have a high school girl that I've known forever helping me with Victoria. And I know that the amount of money that I'm paying them is actually really important to me. Can I be home with Victoria while she's running around? She's 6 years old. She's busy. She wants to do things 100%. But am I stopping every 5 minutes? I'm going to be really mad real with you right now. As I'm doing this very podcast, she just ran into the room. I had to put my hand up and I pointed to my microphone showing her that I was doing something. And she looked at me and she smiled and she ran away. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. It could have been very different. She could have just kept talking and I would have had to maybe stop and edit that section out of the podcast or kept it in and said, I'm sorry, guys. But that's what I'm talking about. If you can hire out, then hire out. Whatever it is that you feel like you can do, and you know your own budget. You know what you can afford to do. I've worked with a VA, Ben Butler, for years. He is amazing. He helps me out. He helps me with social sharing. He helps me with any writing that I might have. Anything that I know he can cover, he's worked with me on throughout the years. I've appreciated it. I've needed it. That is money well spent for me. And I need, and that's really what I'm trying to come across here. If you can hire out on something that you really need to do, maybe it's editing, maybe it's photography, maybe it's videoing, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Obviously you do, but think about ways that you can hire out. Maybe it's an assistant. Maybe you need a full-time assistant, but use that. Okay. Another tip that I have that I've actually never utilized, and I put this out in Permission to Hustle. If you're in our Permission to Hustle Facebook group, you saw this, and I put that out for a reason. If you have a mentor, I don't actually have a mentor. I don't have somebody that I turn to maybe once a week or once a month, someone who does the same thing that I do and really knows the world, and someone that I can really talk to and understands what I'm talking about. I don't have a mentor. I wish I did. If you have somebody that you could recommend to me, please do. But that's another way that you really can help yourself on the tough days. Because if you have a mentor out there that you know you can turn to on those tough days, and they can walk you through it, and they can talk with you, and they can help you really dig down and figure out a way to just relieve some of the stress on those tough days, find that person and turn to them. It's a vital and important person for you to have in your life. I had a mentor when I was in New York City when I first started working for Donna Karan back in 2001. And her name was Susan, and she was my boss. And she was used to working in corporate America, and she was used to the crazy, busy lifestyle of New York City. And she was my mentor for not only work professionally, but also personally too. And I haven't found that person yet in this life, in this what I do right now. And I would love to. So definitely always know you can turn to a mentor. That's also another great way to help yourself on those tough days. Another person you can turn to, another tip, call your best friend. I mean, listen, your best friend is your best friend for a reason. They're going to listen to you go on and on and on, hopefully not make fun of you and laugh at you. Maybe they will, but maybe that's what you need. Maybe you do just need that voice of reason, that someone that's going to shake you out of it and say, hey, listen, you're good, you're fine, you're going to get through this. You always do. I'm here for you for anything. What can I do to help? But call your best friend. That person is always a great shoulder to lean on. Always a great person to pick you up when you're feeling down. They're there for you on your good days and your bad days. And that sometimes is all you need, is maybe on those tough days, you need a 30-minute phone call with your best friend. You need an hour lunch break with your best friend. You need a glass of wine at night with your best friend, or a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. Find that person, and you know it's your best friend if they don't mind you coming at them with your needs on your tough days. You know, I know Vera is one of my best friends, and we've always been there for each other. And I have some other really close girlfriends in my personal life here that I know I can turn to on those tough days, and they're not going to judge, and they're not going to be there telling me to get over it. You know, they might be there for, hey, listen, well, what can I do to help? I don't do what you do, but I certainly have a business mind, and I can help you out any way that I possibly can, or just there to listen. Another tip, take a break. I know that specifically for me, this works amazing. Maybe it's a break this is what I do, honestly, on the days that are tough days. I take a break. I pop the TV on. I watch total trash TV. We're talking Housewives or Kardashians or my reality TV love. And that kind of just gives me that 20 to 30 minute, kind of just detox, de-stress, detox, get it out of me. If I have a tough day, sometimes I just need to walk away. Because a lot of times, too, I need you to remember this. On the toughest days, the worst thing that you can do, regardless of it really depends on what the issue is or why you're having a tough day, but is to try to keep yourself going. Sometimes you just need to walk away. Maybe you just take a drive, you take a walk, you take your TV break, you take a coffee break. You know, you just got to take a break, whether it's 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, or maybe it's a half a day. Just know that you can do that. And the last tip I want to share with you is put it out on social media. Hey, listen, social media is there for a reason. Social media is a way to connect, communicate. It's a platform. Maybe your Facebook friends will see this, your Instagram. Put it out there that you're having a tough day. And you kind of just got to put it out there. When you put something out there, sometimes the cool thing about social media, there's good and there's bad about social media. I feel like this is one of the cool things. If you put something out there that, hey, listen, I'm having a tough day, maybe you put out what your tough day is about. Maybe you don't. But however it is that you put it out there, the cool thing that I have always loved about social media is the responses that you get from people that sometimes you expected, or the coolest part is didn't expect, where someone puts a hand out for you to hold. Somebody puts a advice or connects you with someone that you didn't know before. And that is the cool thing about sometimes when you just really feel that you're having a tough day, is putting it out there on social media in a way that you're looking for help. I'm having a tough day. I'm looking for someone to help me in this capacity. And if you have anybody that you know, let me know. And then you're going to see the responses come in. And you're going to see also one thing too, you're going to realize really quickly that you're not alone, that everybody goes through this. And sometimes then you just get those connections with people that really is all you need to kind of give yourself that breathe in, breathe out, and go on. So this is my podcast today. I hope it helped you guys. I hope it was beneficial, these tips and advice. Again, this is episode 81. Love you to go back and listen to the other 80 episodes. I mean, if you start from the beginning, you really get to know our story, how we met, why we started Permission to Hustle. It's a Facebook group. If you're not part of it, we encourage you to come on over and definitely become a member. We have over 4,000 members in the group, and it really is just a a network for us to be able to turn to for advice and tips and motivation and inspiration. We've started Permission to Hustle retreats. We have one coming up. I'm time stamping this podcast, but we have one coming up at the end of the month in August. We're partnered with Disney World. We're all about getting women together and motivating each other to grow and to give each other permission to keep going with our hustles. So that's it, guys. Have an awesome day. Hope again that this helps, and don't forget, always give yourself permission to hustle.